Now we get to our beloved area of tax information. Sales tax in the United States, in the vast majority of cases, is based upon where the goods are shipped to. The prominent exception to that is California, where there are some very exotic rules about whether you use the ship to location or you use the ship from location for sales tax. And we'll leave that for people that deal with local sales in California. In most cases, sales tax is charged where the goods are shipped to. So, for example, if your company is in Arkansas and you ship to California and you have enough business in California that you either have Nexus or California thinks you have Nexus, you have to collect sales tax in 84 different districts. And there are about 6 or 7 different rates spread across those 84 districts. So therefore, the ship to information is controlling for sales tax. The sales tax information that we set up in the customer record is only used to default the ship to. The ship to is actually what controls the sales tax collection. So you have a certificate number. You would normally have a list of all of the states that you have certificates from your customer for sales tax exemption here, and you'd pick one. Then this is a company ID. This is used for situations where the state gives the company a specific sales tax ID. You can record that there. The type, if they're retail, if this is a retail ship to, then there is no tax certificate and sales tax is going to be charged. If it is a resale certificate, then it tells you couldn't find one for this state, so you're going to have a problem. The order is going to get put on hold. Now, when you set up the address here and you go through the zip code field, it's going to default the tax code for you. So every time a new ship to address is set up, you need to make sure that the tax information is correct. And you, in certain cases, have ship tos that are tax exempt and ship tos that are taxable. For example, again, your company is based in Arkansas, you're shipping to California, you might have enough business in California with your resellers there that you can get a reseller certificate. You have another reseller that you sell to in Florida, and this reseller does not, or this reseller's location there does not want to go through the trouble of getting a sales tax certificate, so they want you to collect the sales tax. So this ship to address becomes retail, even though the customer itself is a resale customer. Another example would be if you sell to JPL Laboratories. JPL Laboratories is a big research operation outside of Berkeley, California, and they get contracts from the government and from private companies to do research. When they order something from you, they will tell you this is for a government contract, therefore don't charge us sales tax, or this is for in-house use, charge us sales tax. And what most people do is they'll set up 2 different ship to addresses, one that's taxable, one that's not taxable, in order to make their life easier. So sales tax and ship tos are very, very much intertwined. You can put a ship to note for every ship to address that's printed on the shipping documents if your documents are large enough, and it pops up during order entry optionally. So you could have a note on there that says, this facility only accepts deliveries between 10 and 11 in the morning, or goods should be left, around back because nobody's there during the day. So anything that's tied to a particular ShipTo address, you can put the information there. I remember from many years ago with Ohio Scientific, we were shipping to places in Africa, and there was a ShipTo note in there saying, put rat poison in the bottom of the boxes because the rats eat their way through it, and this keeps them from chewing on the electronics. So all sorts of stuff can be in the ShipTo note. The Logistic tabs lets you set up a specific ShipVia for this ShipTo address. A situation where I've seen that used is shipments to small places in Alaska are only available by air. UPS and FedEx don't deliver ground to these villages, so if something is being shipped to them, it can't go UPS ground, it has to go UPS blue or UPS red. ViaTerms is the same thing, what the shipping terms are. You may have a situation where you normally pay the freight. However, for these extreme addresses, the customer pays the freight. And you have room for a billing account for third-party billing that says when you ship to this address, use this billing account. This is something that you might use with a company like Office Depot, Office Max, where depending upon which store you're shipping to, they may want you to use a specific UPS account number because they pay the freight and they want to track their inbound freight by store. And the ship pay code defines how the shipping should be charged, collect, bill the third party, and bill ultimate consignee. And there's some very collect means when the driver shows up, he says, give me the money for the freight. Bill to third party means that a third party is paying the freight. So you're drop shipping something for Amazon, and it's going to be charged to Amazon's UPS account. That's a third party billing. Bill the ultimate consignee is a slightly different type of billing. You're shipping something to Amazon, but you're shipping it to their warehouse and they're paying the freight. So it's being billed to them. It's not being collected at the door. There's very small difference between bill to third party and bill to ultimate consignee, but it's required that you select the correct one. Default location indicates what the default location to ship from is for this ShipTo address. So there are two ways that this is used. Normally, the way the system is configured, when you enter an order in order entry, the system defaults to the preferred location for that zip code. If you don't have the preferred location set up in the zip code file, you can specify a preferred location for this customer based upon this field in the ShipTo address. Then the default field here lets you set three things. Normal just means that it's a ShipTo address. Yes means that this is the default ShipTo address for the customer. And F means this is the fulfillment return address that should be used if the customer's documents are flagged to have a different return address when you're doing fulfillment. It's not really a ShipTo address, but we store the address here instead of creating another table to store the fulfillment return address. This field, the custom shipping label, allows you, we use a product called List and Label for generating forms and shipping labels. And it allows the form to be selected at runtime and filled in and maintained on a site-by-site basis for any number of different forms. So certain customers require certain shipping labels. For example, Nestle when ICG ships a product for Dell to Nestle, the ShipTo label needs to have a asset number on it and needs to have a location on it. So the shipping label will say Nestle Corporation, New York facility, 410 7th Avenue, location 35th floor, room 5, asset number 123. That's normally not on regular shipping labels. So you have a custom shipping label, and the name of that custom shipping label goes here, and the invoicing program manifesting uses that. Then you have the gen code, which can be refreshed if you have the web service, and this loads the physical address or the latitude and longitude of the physical address of this location. And this is used for a couple of different things. It's used for weather, it's used for determining what the nearest location is, and it's used for determining sales tax. When you have the sales tax web service and you add a new ShipTo, when it goes out and determines what the sales tax is for that location or for that address, it will fill in the geocode so it doesn't have to make that call the next time. So that is our ShipTo record.